Cows are all milked. Big yellow's up. Not quite a bluebird, but it's a lovely day. It's quite a heavy dew last night too. You can still see it just sitting on the ground there. So that means it's a great day to go and try the new Hustler Bale feeder that got delivered yesterday. Well, to be honest, any day is good when you're trying new things, but today will do. Probably should have split that paddock in half for them. But I'll just shut the gate before I bring the tractor over, otherwise while I'm loading up, they all come walking out and come towards the tractor. Yup, there she is. Oh, look how shiny it is. Don't really want to put a bale on it, it's just nice to look at. And you get some bale forks too, which are just over there. Is that clipped in? Yep. It's just not sitting real level, like this back needs to be down a little bit more, I think, otherwise the bale sort of slips down that way, I think. This is right. It's a good few turns, so I'll lift it up. It's about there, I reckon. That'll do. That'll do for today. Well, if you're new to my channel or you didn't see the last video, I thought I'd just give you a little bit of an update. But Hustler Equipment, which are based down in the Hawke's Bay, they've got sort of manufacturing plant down there. They make all sorts of things like these bale feeders and sprayers, and also sort of like feed out wagons. But they dropped me off this yesterday, this new chainless bale feeder to try for this sort of next month or so, and just sort of compare it to the one we have. So we actually have exactly the same one, it's just 16 years older. So looking forward to giving it a go. There's a few things that have changed between the two of them. So what I'm going to do is just feed out a bale, and then I'll get them side by side, and we'll sort of go through it and see what I think, and also I'll spot or point out the differences between them. I'm not getting paid to do it. They've just given me one with the intention to just review it and see how I go. They said they wanted an honest review, so if I've got anything bad about it, don't hold back, which is pretty cool, because that's what I say to people. If they're going to give me something and I don't like it, I'm not going to say it's good, that's for sure. So, but we'll get going, cut one of these bales open and put it on. Unfortunately, we have to get it a bit dirty. Yummy, it's nice silage. So these bales are actually from 2 years ago, or 2 seasons ago. I've got 6 left, and then those different coloured ones there are from the silage that we did this season. There we go, got some action. that bar, then come back a bit. So that's pretty easy, but the first time the lock wasn't in over there, and that's why it sort of, I had to do it twice and lock in properly, but seems pretty easy so far. Sits in there real nice though, really nicely. Cows don't really know what's happening. I usually feed out in the other tractor in the Fiat, so they'd come running for that. They don't know what's going on. Right, so I think the green one should, oh, wrong way, away from you. Yep, there we go. Okay, watch out of the way, girls. Leave that going, I suppose. Spinning around real good, eh? And it's like not doing it too thick either. Put the floor up a little bit more. So I've still got the centre of the bale on there, but I thought I'd just go and have a look and see what it looks like, because I think it's done a real good job. Like, it's not too thick, it's pretty even, eh? Sort of just a light scattering, so it's probably feeds it out a bit better than the other one, to be honest. Just at first glance. I know one thing for sure though, the cows don't mind. I think it's done a real good job. Again, not too bad. Has spat out a big chunk here, but it's sort of like at the end of the bale anyway, and that tends to happen. But yeah, I don't think it's too bad. Well, that went real well. So what I'll go do now is get the other bale feed, or bring it down here, sit them side by side, take them off, and I'll just walk you through the changes that's been made in the previous 16 years. But pretty happy with it. Although you always like new bit of kit, eh? So pretty cool. Right, well I got both models here, so I think I'll just run through them quickly and just point out some of the big changes that's happened, because they're pretty noticeable, some of them. So we'll start at the headstock, but you can see from this one here to this one, it's just been beefed up big time. Just a lot more support now. One other thing too is that this is the lock, and on this one over there, it's definitely not as aggressive. That's the only one. And whereas this has got two, so there's a lock there and a lock at the top there, so a little bit more safer. What else? So the drive motor, that hasn't actually changed. It's about the same size, I think, just a little bit more of a cover around it. And one other thing is that these prongs out the back here, they've sort of changed, so they're not the round shape anymore. These are like actual Bale forks, and most of the weight from the Bale feeder actually sits up the top there, whereas I think that one's more spread out over them. And there's definitely like a noticeable difference in length. So this one here is longer, shorter. That one is a little bit longer, but just, yeah, it's more profound in this one. And these are Bale forks, so if you didn't have a front end loader, you could use these to load your bale onto there. Or like telehandlers and stuff, like they make brackets for this that would go on the front of a telehandler. So you could sort of take it off easily enough and use that for sort of loading. This model here does come, I think it's called the LH. Just need to have a little look. LM104. So they make like an LMX, I think, and that has got like an automatic release on it. So if you did have it on a telehandler, you wouldn't have to go and get out, or like have a real long string, which sort of makes sense. But I don't need it, and it's sort of the same as that one, so it's a good comparison. So sort of move on to the actual feeder now. So looking at it from this angle, you can see that these feeder rollers are just a lot higher on this model than that one, and that is because the feeder rollers are sort of more like that, and this sloping tray here goes right back into the bottom of it, whereas here it stops a lot shorter. But like there's still the bar out the back there, it's just been sort of strengthened. This bit of plastic, or the feed tray, sort of a little bit bigger. I think it's the same width, and if you're feeding like big square bales out, you can get an extension that goes out the end here and sort of holds them in, plus a little bar just there so you can tie the strings to it and get them out easy enough. Also, one other thing with the feed rollers is that, see how this one's got straight bar through here, or not bar but plates through there, to sort of help the bale on. Well, that's been improved a big time. I think they've spent a lot of money and time on it, but now it's got these sort of angled bar, so it feeds from the center sort of evenly, so it feeds nice and light. One other thing though, because there's 16 years between this one and that one, so over the side, once it gets off the side there, this is pretty much similar, except they put these extra fins on. And I was saying about the silage that's stuck down here, look, it even pulls out now, so you can just unlock that and that, like there, and how do you do it? Oh, there we go. So it comes apart, and mainly, like if you had net or something that got caught around the roller, you could just sort of undo that, and there's a space there where you can get it out. So you need to sort of keep it closed for when it's in use, and then lock it in like that. But it's pretty much the same mechanism there, just for feeding it out. There is just a little chain behind that white guard, but you can see they've sort of beefed these up big time, so that's where the prongs go in, whereas the other ones are sort of, they're not bad, but they're just bigger now. And you can see the lock, so one lock goes in there, like I was saying before, it's doubled, one goes in there and one goes in there, whereas this one just hooks over there. There's also just the other couple of little things that, like if you're feeding squares, I think you can change the height. So there's a couple of bolts there, you undo them, and then you can slide this deck down so it feeds in better, I'm pretty sure. You can add an extension on the side here, which bolts onto there. So if you're feeding into like a feed bunker, it just makes little ramps, so it gives you a little bit more room off the side there. Other than that though, I think that is pretty much it. There are a few little structural things that are different, but you can definitely tell like that one's a bit more heavier than this. I'm not quite sure by how much. We probably should really put this feeder onto that tractor, because that's the one we've been using to feed out. So to do like a real good comparison between them, yeah, we should put it on there, just see if it handles it. With that just a little bit more weight, I'm sure it would. That's about 85 horsepower, whereas the New Holland's about 110, 115, so that tractor handles it, no worries at all. But other than that, I think that is pretty much about it. I did get a little bit dirty before. Oh, I have to give it a clean. It was quite cool while Angus was here showing me around it. He also offered and said if I'm ever down on the Hawke's Bay, come and have a tour around the Hustler factory, which would be pretty awesome. I could probably take the camera down there and show you guys. It'd be quite cool to go and have a look around and see what's happening down there. But other than that, I hope you enjoyed the video. I certainly did. It was quite cool filming it actually, so if you did, give it a like, that'd be awesome. And apart from that, see you next time.